What is going on, everybody? How's your Saturday treating you? Let me hop back in here and then right in here. Yep, 1.39. Almost said it wrong. 1.39 dropped this morning, and I wasn't going to mess with our main profile, but I did create kind of a test profile. And let's hop right in here. This is the biggest thing that I've noticed so far is these trailers. So we do have Lowboys now, and it starts everything from, can't really see a whole lot of it because we can't zoom out that far, but it starts with just something very basic like that. Add the stinger, add the Jeep and the stinger, different types of bodies, different axle combos. Let's go back here, get this a little bit, not quite so long. Different axle combos, like so, and these are all on the back. This is all stinger on the back right now. And then if we go back out here and go to this one with the Jeep here, what they're calling a double, then we get the same kind of options. We can go double, we can go triple, we can go 2 axles, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 3, and 2, or 3, 3, and 3. I went with something a little bit easier to handle, and then of course you can paint it, and accessories right there. I went with something a little bit easier to handle, and we will take a look at that right now. Let me X out of this. We're in Elko. Our new headquarters is in Elko. I liked it. Well, not that. I liked it as a starting city because it's sort of central to the whole map now. I used to start in LA, but LA is not really central anymore. So let's hop in and take a look at this trailer we're going to be running. And we reset track IR right about like so, maybe right about like so. There we go. So this is what we got. We are on our Mac 48-inch, and I went with just a Jeep, no stinger, and 2 axles in front, 2 axles in the back. So I don't know, we'll ease into it. I also realized since this is an ownable trailer and we're going to be for the foreseeable, right? Because it's new. Of course, we're going to be spending a lot of time in it. So for the foreseeable, let's go ahead and put these accessories on it. I've got the bracket on the back with the beacons and the placard. I've got the flags on the back, and then up front, I've got placard and flags, and I threw some beacons on the roof. So we'll leave this stuff on for now because we'll be hauling with only this trailer. And after we get done with our first trip, I'll probably go back in and extend it out and throw a stinger on the back just to see how, what a pain in the ass that is to maneuver around. So that is what's going on there. Also, something that I noticed in the job market, we're not running any cargo mods, we're not running any trailer mods, name mods, nothing like that. It's a clean profile that I just started today, and we're getting this when we go to pick up jobs. So the only time I've seen that before is when I used the cargo box mod, the intermodal mod for ATS. I saw this. I guess this comes from in-game. It couldn't be coming from a mod because, like I said, it's a clean profile. I mean, it could be coming from a mod. You know what I mean. Doesn't seem likely. So let's pick something. Let's go 300 or 400 miles. And let's go to Utah. Why not? And this is 44,000. I noticed we got 55,000. We don't have a ton of really heavy cargo. Salt Lake City. We don't have a ton of really heavy cargo, and I don't know why exactly that is. Let's take this one, a forwarder. All right, let's do it. So we'll hop back in here, fire up. Let me just confirm all my lights and everything are on. Yep, lights are on. Get rid of that. Get our info panel set. Brake is off. Windows are down, windows are up. Windows are up. Put those down. Here we go. Oh, let me know what's going on with the sound too. I can hear game sound, but I can't hear myself. I don't have monitors on for the mic, so I don't necessarily know how loud the game is relative to my voice. So ideally, I want you to be able to hear both, but I don't want the game to be like overpowering. You know what I mean? And we will be very careful with this rig. Man, timing. perfect timing that we got track IR going just as we got these longer trailers. And I don't need to stop here, but I'm going to stop here because of where that Volvo is. And because I need to turn my headset down. Right. Now we can get rid of this too. Don't need that. So yeah, I'm glad that they brought this in. It's sort of like when they brought doubles in. Doubles and triples, I guess. It really just makes you, or it makes me drive more carefully. I find that I don't take chances, you know, don't kind of act the fool. And I try to drive a lot more seriously when I've got a big gnarly trailer on. Turn around here. Carefully. Carefully. Yep. Doing good so far. Gabriel Game, how you doing, my man? What's happening? And what else was in the patch notes? There's a new UI. And there's some bug fixes. There is, they brought in a lot of like viewpoints that I saw. That's something that was new in the Idaho DLC and people liked it. So it looks like they brought more of that in. There are places you can stop and like record little videos or something. I don't know. I've never done it. It's not really something I'm into, but I guess a lot of people like it. So they expanded that to the whole map. If I read that right, previously it was just in Idaho and now it's sort of all over. Get kind of a better gear here. There we are. So, I mean, okay. You know, that's, I thought it was going to be a lot more graphics updates. Now it says in the notes that the, hang on, let's get through here. It says that the new UI and the new menus are for things that they have planned for the future. And I don't know exactly what that means. So it could be more graphical stuff, but it doesn't seem likely. I'm guessing it, I'm guessing and I'm hoping maybe that it has something to do with what direction they want to take the game in as far as Canada, Mexico, you know, the rest of Europe, and making really kind of an international truck simulator. But, oh God. Yeah, that's my concern is with these long trailers, you have to swing wide so you don't hook it into traffic, but if you do swing it out wide, then sometimes the AI will sort of not respect that, I guess. They'll either try to sneak past you or just really not behave the way traffic would around a very big long truck like this. So we'll try to do our very best with this, but you know, it's just pixels. It's a game, it's not perfect. Alright, so we go here, let's get down to neutral, turn signal off, down to neutral, set the brake. Let's take a look at what we got here. I hope the game doesn't crash out when we select this job. The fact that we don't have an icon sort of concerns me, but let's hope for the best here. Alright, and we're just going to pull forward, I guess, and load up. There's nothing to like visually see. So let's see if we can get over here a little bit. Yeah, really good timing on track IR. We're going to be using it constantly with these long trailers. Now, next question is there a corresponding type of trailer for ETS expected? I know there are some really long, gnarly trailers in ETS for special transport, and I don't know if those would ever be available to own. And I don't know if we're going to get this in here. It's going to give it to us. Yeah, we're a little bit too far out now. What do we do about this? I don't think we can get all the way around there. We got to try to back this thing up. All right. I mean, I guess it's no different than backing up a dolly trailer in Farm Sim, right? So, here goes. And I've got to stay off the brakes a little bit because we got simulated brake pressure running, and if we keep pumping the brakes all the way across the parking lot, we will run out of pressure. Alright, well, this is not going terribly so far. I don't think anybody can back up a Stinger as well, but we're making it. I know. I could be doing this in cab. Let's straighten this out just a little bit. And that is far enough. So now, we'll hop back in here and reef this thing over just as far as we can and then crank it back. See if that does it. Don't hit anything. Alright, we're good there. You stay. This guy could be helping us. No, of course he's not. Alright. Let's see how we're doing. A little bit better. Yeah, I think this might get it. There it is. Alright, so back to neutral. Set the brake engine off. Let's load up. And again, cross our fingers for no crash. No crash. Alright. Let's take a look. Okay. I'll take it. Now, I noticed that the trailer body itself, like where this forwarder is sitting right now, that distance doesn't really increase or decrease. So I think the bigger and heavier cargos, and we'll try out another trailer. We'll go with a bigger one before the end of the episode, but I think the bigger cargos actually hang out onto these wooden platforms. Maybe? We'll find out. So, all right. And what was this, 48,000 pounds? So not terrible. And we've got, I want to say, about 550 horsepower and about 1800 on the torque. So we're good there. All right, beacon's on. Brake is off. Here we go. And they did flip us around. I mean, I appreciate it. Had they not flipped us around, we would have had to back up. I don't know. I don't know how we would have got out, even if they... yeah, I mean, we could back up, but then I don't know if we would have been able to cut it to get out of here. Regardless, they did flip us around. Alright, so we will go all the way over here. Alright. Mirror is very much in the way. Alright, so we're good there. Now we need to, yeah, this is going to be a problem because if nobody, you know what I mean? We need them to stop like way back where that Jeep is right about now. Almost at the end of the block we need them to stop, and I don't know if people are going to stop back that far. So that's good over there. We got that blocked. Yep, we need a gap. See, I can't just stick my nose out right now because if we did, well, we can't because of this guy. But even if we did, I think the traffic all the way down there is so far out of the trigger that it would not, the AI would not stop for us. It wouldn't yield for us. They'd pull up to probably somewhere right about there, and we'll have to do like a 27-point turn to get it flipped around. All right, I mean, this is 1.7 on the traffic spawn. It's a little heavy, but it's not terrible. I'm told that anything over 2 on the traffic spawn is when it really falls apart. So you don't want to do that. Yep. Well, I mean, it is a truck simulator, and this is definitely part of driving a truck. The other thing I don't want to do is I don't want to creep forward and, like, I don't know, the red pickup as an example. If we creep forward and we hit the trigger for the red pickup and it stops, then there's really kind of nothing we can do to get it all moving again. It'll just stay stopped there until we back up. All right. Now we did swing over to the left before we pulled out, so we've got some clearance on the right. We're not going to hit anything. As far as like any structures in the yard, sheds or anything, we're not going to hit anything if we cut it to the right. We just need a little bit more room. God, there's traffic. All right. Seems like it's getting worse. Does it not? Yeah, we're going to need to make a move here momentarily because looks like it's just about to max out at the end of the block there. And once it starts going around the corner, then it's futile at that point. Yeah. Let's just see what we can do here. Here. And I just realized M16 music, how are you, my friend? Alright. I didn't want to cut that. Yeah, see that Jersey barrier there? I mean, we cleared it, but I would have preferred to swing a lot further forward before we cut to the right. Alright. Okay, we made it. And I gotta fix one other thing. This is a little pet peeve that I have. Is it this one? Yeah, this is a problem that I have with physical camera movement. Yep. With this game. When you start a new profile, there is no option to bring over all your settings from a previous profile, and so you have to do it all again every single time you start a profile. I would really like to see a tick box that says, do you want to use the settings from the profile that you used most recently? So that would be graphic settings, controller settings, things like advanced coupling, and it would just bring all that over. Because as it is now, you got to configure it all manually, and there's a ton of stuff that I forget, even when I go through those items line by line. Good, good. Glad to hear it. Alright, and we're making this big swing here. That one's not too bad. Alright. I don't want to get overconfident and forget that we have this monster trailer on. There we go. Lost our momentum there. Now we're going to catch a red light. No? Alright. Almost. Almost. Alright. Some windows up here. I'm thinking this may slow trips down a little bit too. Just being this cautious, and traffic lights and everything. I'm definitely being a lot more cautious than I normally am, but I'm stopping for a lot of yellows as well. All right, here we go. So the one we have on is not terrible, but I'm also wondering if you go with, well, I mean, I guess it's something we've done before when we've taken trailers like that for other jobs. I mean, we didn't own the trailer, but we've still driven the super long trailers. Curious how it is merging and how traffic is going to sort of honor that long trailer, you know what I mean? There's been a persistent rumor with this game that traffic does notice turn signals and beacons, but I've never seen that. I don't. It's a rumor. It's a persistent rumor, but I don't necessarily agree with that. It does not seem to be the case. And when we get to a straight part of the road, all right, in fact, we can do it right up here at the way station. We'll take a look at this thing from outside again. It's crazy that we put all this time and effort into skinning our trucks, and we buy these big trailers and get them all painted, and then we rarely see them unless we go third person. And for the most part, I don't go third person. I tend to stay in cab almost exclusively. All right. Same thing. Try not to hit the jerseys on either side. Good there. And this thing, it's not super wide. It's not a whole lot wider than the truck, so we should be okay there. All right. 80,000, not bad. Let's pull right up here and stop for a second. I don't think there's anybody behind us. Yeah, we're okay. All right, so if we go here, yeah, that's a pretty big truck. After we get this job dropped off, we'll add the Stinger and go 3 axles on everything. But that's a pretty big truck. I'll take it. All right, here we go. And I'm trying to think what else was in the notes. Not a ton. Not as much as I thought. And I'm wondering what they're going to do on the ETS side, because typically the patches sort of correspond. Like, one is the same as the other in terms of content. So I don't know if they're going to have those viewpoints and recordable areas in ETS. I haven't seen anything about 1.39 in ETS at all. So as far as them having trailers like this, or what they're going to bring in, the UI, I'm guessing the UI improvements or upgrades will be a part of ETS. And I really am curious, like, what direction they're taking the game in, that they need to have that stuff happen with the UI. I don't know if they would ever make Pro Mods like an official DLC. The Pro Mods developers would obviously still have to work on it. I don't think SCS has the resources to be doing that kind of work. I mean, with everything they're doing in-house right now, and the delays and COVID and everything else, I don't think they have enough resources to take on a big project like in-housing Pro Mods. But if they did bring Pro Mods in as an official DLC, I don't know if that would require a new UI. I don't know how I feel about Pro Mods anymore. I mean, it's still a fantastic mod. I personally don't use it anymore. It's a great mod. I just don't see a need for it as the game gets bigger and bigger. All right. And I don't know if pro mods for ATS will ever be done. And when I say that, I'm not saying it in a bad way, like I'm disappointed or anything. I just don't know that. I don't know that they could ever get it done. I feel like most of the pro mods development team, and I think they're all volunteers, but as far as I know, most, if not all of them, are in Europe. So I just don't know if they have access to the physical locations or enough, documentation and imagery that they could convincingly make an American map. I've noticed some really crazy pop-in as well. I've seen things spawning in. When I pulled in to make some changes to this truck, I pulled into the diesel shop and there was a pause and then everything spawned like right in front of me. So I don't know if it's just new assets that are unpacking, because the upgrade I want to say was about 3 gig. 3 gig or 1 gig. It was decent sized. Sorry, 1 gig. 1 gig on the upgrade on the update on the patch. 1 gig. So it could be that it's just still unpacking some stuff for the first time. But I definitely noticed some pop in, and I'm seeing a little bit right now. Mostly vehicles, not necessarily like scenery popping in, but vehicle spawns. Alright, and we don't... I mean, I guess we're 80,000 pounds. It's not that heavy, so I guess we can get this thing wound up to the speed limit. I've not spent a ton of time in Nevada recently. I've been in Pacific Northwest, so Oregon, Washington, and then Idaho. But it's nice to see different parts of the map. Something I like about ATS and ETS is the maps are so big now that there are parts of them that you just don't get to very often, and that really, it's nice when you get to them because they're kind of fresh. Even if you've been there before, you just haven't been there in a while, so they're, I don't know, surprising. They just kind of make you look at things that you might not look at for parts of the map that you go to all the time. Does that make sense? I think I'm saying that right. And we've got enough fuel. Yeah, we got enough fuel to get this thing delivered, but then we'll have to drop the trailer for a minute and go get fuel. I would prefer to do it that way. I mean, if we can find a diesel shop that has fuel in the yard, even better, but I don't know that I necessarily want to take this trailer through some of those tight places. And if we upgrade to a bigger trailer, then I definitely don't. Alright. And let me see, crashes. Well, mods, the only mods I saw that didn't carry over, there was a light pack that didn't carry over. And anytime that happens, what's the other one? Alex D. The Alex D lights typically don't carry over from one patch to the next. And I think the reason is, as a modder, you can code your mods so that it works for any patch, any version of the game, or you can code it so it works for a specific one. I feel like some modders specifically kind of lock their mod out of patches until they update it. Pulling for a vehicle inspection, okay. I think some modders do that because they want to always update it and make sure it's current and fresh and good to go for the next patch. Alright. I think other modders do it. I think other modders do it so that any mod that's been like stolen and uploaded to the dodgy mod sites doesn't work anymore. So they sort of cut down on the piracy. Alright. Stop at the truck scale ahead. Okay, so we're already there. 80,000 pounds still. Alright. So there was a small light pack that I have that doesn't work in 1.39. I can't imagine like why it wouldn't. There's nothing really different other than the number on the patch. So that'll get fixed in the next few days and we'll be working again. I had a crash from I think drivetrain revision. I wasn't running an engine pack or anything, but I did have drivetrain revision activated, and I used one of the drivetrain revision engines. When I got to, like after I did the service, when I got to the parking lot and started the truck up, there was no sound. So I went back into the configurator, tried to put another engine in it, and it just kept crashing. So what I did was deactivated all those mods. When I went back in, the truck had been, the game had swapped out the mod parts that I had on the truck for base game parts, and then I was able to put in a base game engine and transmission, and everything worked fine. So other than that, I didn't see too many red flags on the mods. But I think this patch is mostly, it's not as much graphical change as I thought it was. Doesn't seem like there've been any sound changes or anything. So there's no real big changes to the game code itself, as far as I can tell. So what I think that means is it's kind of housekeeping stuff, and then those new trailers. So for the most part, everything seems to be running. Is that? Yep. I don't know if they do that in Europe, but in the American West, California, Nevada, Arizona, they disguise cell phone towers as trees. And I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. It's A for effort, but you can still obviously see them from like a mile away. But I don't know. Anyway, that's a Joshua tree back there. It's a cell phone tower in the shape of a Joshua tree, which is a little different. I know around LA you see them disguised as palm trees. In Montana, I've seen them disguised as pine trees. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. You got to make them look like something, right? So why not a tree? But they can be a little bit obvious. All right, we're making our way, no problem. I think on the highway these trailers are going to be kind of a non-event, but when you get into a city, definitely something to take a little bit more seriously. Stability feels good. I've got truck and trailer stability and braking intensity turned almost down to 0, but it's not like flip-flopping around or anything. It feels stable enough. Find another straight piece of road here and we'll hop outside, third person. I think, what was the length on this trip? 346 miles? Something like that. Alright, this looks pretty straight. Yep. Here we go. I know in Mod Studio they've got templates for trailers, but I don't know if anybody does a template for a trailer like this because there's really no place to put anything. So I don't know if there's ever going to be skinning for trailers like this. It's like the log trailers, right? There's just not enough real estate on there to really have any kind of meaningful skin. So I just went with our corporate colors, but I didn't try to skin it yet. I'll take a look on the Mod Studio Discord tonight. They generally have XMLs to actually make the skin and templates within a few hours. They're really good about that. If you don't have Mod Studio 2, you should definitely get it. I mean, if you're into skinning, you should definitely get it. I can't believe how easy it makes skinning. Alright, we gotta get slowed down here. We're still here? Yep. I always get confused through here. Trying to stay as far out to the left as I can. Alright. Still doing good. And are we good here? Do we need to go over one more? No, we're good here. I think there's a setting in sound for the interior volume on the truck with the windows up and the windows down. Like you can adjust them both separately. So you can make it a little quieter when the windows are down and a little louder when the windows are up. I need to tweak that a little bit. I feel like the truck is a bit too quiet when the windows are down. Oh, easy, officer. Whoa. Alright, that was not that bad either. I thought going as fast as we were right through there, I thought that would be a little more wobbly, but yeah, everything is surprisingly stable. It feels almost too stable. I'll go back in and take a look after we get this dropped off and just confirm where we have those truck and trailer stability settings. Like I was saying before about, that you can't bring in settings, you can't bring in a profile. Not necessarily a save game, but just the way you have the game configured, that you can't bring that stuff in. So it's possible that it did reset my truck and trailer stability. All right. Are those supposed to be all kicked over like that? Looked a little odd. Those power poles tilted over that way. And we're still good. So I got ride 4, was it yesterday? Day before. What's today? The 10th. Came out on the 8th. So 2 days ago I got ride 4. And there's a bit of a controversy in the forum. Because of course they have all the parts, right? They've got all the exhausts. And they changed the performance of the bike nominally, not a ton. But they don't change the sound. And people are really not happy about that. And I mean, I get it, because if you wanted to sample, like, I don't know, what's the TL1000. TL1000 is not in the game right now, but the TL1000, if you wanted to sample that bike with factory exhaust, and then with like numerous other exhausts, it wouldn't be impossible. Nothing's impossible. Some things cost a lot of money. But basically you would need to track down a bunch of TL1000s with different exhausts on them, or you would need to find one TL1000 and put different exhausts on it and record all those different sounds. And you would need to do that for like 100 different motorcycles. I'm guessing it's just not worth it. So for Truck Sim, I would like to see that when you, I mean, I know the engine itself changes the sound, right? When you put different engines in, you get different sounds. I don't mean necessarily sound packs or mods or anything, but just base game engines. When you put different engines in, you get different sounds. That's good. But I'd like to see that with different exhausts, when you put different exhausts on, you get different sounds as well. And it could be one of those things that just, just be thankful for what you got. You're not getting a whole lot else. Because it really is, I mean, we as gamers, our expectations are so high. Sky's the limit, right? And I feel like the list could just go on and on and on. But I really do like what they did with the sound in 1.37, and Fmod is amazing. Really brings a ton to the game. Windows up, Windows down is great. And like a lot of things that come into video gaming, you don't necessarily notice that you don't have it until you get it. And once you get it, you wonder how you ever lived without it, because it makes a really big difference. Alright, so let's get down to a good gear here. We're good there. Good over there. And I just noticed that we're picking up a dead zone in the middle of our track IR. We've got a really kind of gnarly grab right in the center. I need to swap that out to another profile that does not have quite as much of a dead zone. I'd like it to be a little more fluid through there. I gotta remember to do that for next episode. Alright, Scipio, Utah. Never been there. Never even heard of it. Wait for the speed limit to kick back up. There we go. We're getting a little warning beeper. Yeah, I don't think I've been disappointed by anything SCS has done in the past couple of years. There's some things where, you know, I would have maybe preferred that it be done a different way, or there's some things that I'd like to see that I haven't seen yet. Don't know if I ever will, but for the most part, everything they do just seems really like they really thought about it, and they're definitely listening to their audience and their fans and players. No, it's a good direction the game is going in. I think they're going to have continued success with it. And we've got to really kind of, yep. I hate to do it that way, but with the AI being what it is, sometimes you got to get a little aggressive. I mean, I know this game is, well, it's coming up on 9 years old, and 9 is right around the corner from 10. So it's not quite a 10-year-old game, but it's close. Looks pretty good for a 10-year-old game, but it is by no means like a new title, and it's definitely not using new technology. So I wonder a lot what Truck Sim, ETS and ATS, I wonder what they're going to look like in a few years. I have to think at some point they re-up. So far they haven't announced anything. Alright. Right here. Get back there. Alright. This part seems really seamless too. We're not running any company mods or anything like that. I really like when you get to a yard and it just fits. Whatever you're hauling, whatever you're carrying, it just really fits that you would be delivering it to the place that you're getting to. And I think we're going to clear this gate. Yep. Alright, and then from there we just pull it straight in. Looks like it. Try to get this lined up here. down to neutral. Beacon's off, brake is on, lights are off. Let's see how we did. No damage. I don't think we had any tickets. We didn't hit anything. So 23 grand. Okay, I'll take it. And let's do this. So if we're in Salina. Salina? Is there a diesel shop in this town? Yep, there's one right back there. Okay. So let's do this. I don't want to drop the trailer, go all the way over there and all the way back. And there is a place to sleep over here. So let's head to the diesel shop. All right, 20 miles. Let's head to the diesel shop. We'll extend this trailer, put the triple on it. And we'll get some sleep. And then we'll go from there. And are we... Yep, we're turned around again, pointing at the exit. Here we go. Brakes off. Windows down. Oh, and we need fuel too. We are nearly out of fuel. Hang on. Before we pass one on the way out there. Okay, there's fuel there as well. And let's do something else. Let's go over here. Let's go past this Western Star dealer and discover it while we're in the area. Right? And that's one less thing to come back and do another time. I don't think we're going to keep this profile. What we'll do is use it until 1.39 is in full release. And then we'll delete this profile and go back to our other one and just buy the trailers that we have in this profile. All right. But I don't know, I just get OCD about it, right? Like if we're passing a dealer or a recruiter, let's go ahead and discover it, just in case we do keep this profile. You never know. All right, so windows up. I don't want to grease this stop sign, but the amount of traffic that we have over there. There we go. So we'll have to see the heaviest cargo that I've seen for the trailer that we have now is 66,000 pounds. So we'll have to see if we get heavier trailers, heavier cargoes. We'll have to see if we get heavier cargoes if we extend this out to 3 axles all around. And I don't think it will limit the cargoes that are listed based on how powerful our truck is. I think what it'll do is if we pick something that's heavier than we're supposed to be hauling, it'll just give us the warning, right? And that other pop-up that asks if you want to go to a diesel shop and retune your truck. But I think we'll at least be able to see those heavy cargoes even if we can't necessarily haul them. But I haven't seen anything over 66,000 pounds for the trailer that we have on. Let's remember that number. And while we're sitting here at this light, I'm going to very carefully try to hit my coffee. Hang on. Oh God. Timing. We didn't get it anyway. Alright, so neutral, set brake, coffee. Alright. Yeah, I'm not sure what I was expecting visually, and I mean there's always so many rumors in gaming, and well, anything involving the internet, any type of forum or Reddit or anything is always just a rumor mill. But I heard that there were going to be some graphical upgrades in the same way that there were in, what was it, 1.36? When did they go to DX11? I think that was 1.36. But whenever it was, you know, that was the big graphical update, and then 1.37 was the big sound upgrade. And I guess people were sort of speculating that 1.39 would be another bump in graphics. Prism 3D is just, it's limited. It's a 20-year-old engine. I don't think there's a lot you can do with it in terms of, I don't know, making it modern, making it contemporary. It's not like they're going to be able to add subsurface scattering or ray tracing or something. It doesn't have that capacity. So I think they're limited in what they can do with it. And they're certainly, I mean, it doesn't look like a 10-year-old game. Well, most of the time it doesn't look like a 10-year-old game. Occasionally it does. But for the most part, I think this game looks pretty good for being as old as it is. Alright, so we'll head right up the hill here. We're in 30. There we go. Now we're in a 50. Okay. And I mean, I don't know. I'm sort of nerding out because we have this big trailer on, but we have hauled trailers this big before. We've hauled bigger trailers than this, so things like getting fuel, you know, I don't really need to trip out about it quite that bad. It's not anything we haven't done before. All right, so right up here. Yep, still good. And I think, yeah, when we get up here, what I can do is just look at other parts, just so all our wheels and tires match and everything. I just look at other stuff that we have on the trailer, so we get everything. I know. Telling me I'm running out of fuel, and I know it. And what time is it? Yes, it's another one of those. That's another one of those settings that didn't carry over. I think it's 5 p.m. So it didn't carry over 24-hour time. It's one of those little pet peeve things. I just find it so annoying that every time you start a new profile, you need to reset things like your 24-hour time preferences. Come on now. All right. So if we swing far enough out here, and then far enough out here, I'm not entirely confident. Hang on. Let's get in here first, if we can. Because if we can't, then we have to back up. That is going to be catastrophous. All right. So we'll get fuel first. Neutral. Brake, engine. Let's fill up. Alright, so that's done. And now let's suspend our disbelief momentarily. What do you think? I'm not confident. So we can back up and risk jackknifing this thing, or we can pull forward and definitely hit that little pump guard on the left there. Let's back up carefully. Alright, and then from here we can go right out there. So I think if anything, what we just learned from this is either fuel up before you try anything with that other trailer that we're about to get, the Jeep and the Stinger. Either fuel up before you start your trip, or if you need to fuel up during a trip, go ahead and drop the trailer and just play it safe. Alright. We can go back in here. there. And diesel shop is right there. Before we get there, let's pull up right here. Pull up right here. And we want, is it under gameplay? So we're good here. Miles. Where's it? Is it time zones? Displayed currency. Oh, you know, we don't. Yeah, we need time zones in the U.S. Let's see, country names, secondary names, currency. It may be somewhere else. There it is. Time zones. All right. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't carry that stuff over, or that there's no option to duplicate your settings. All right. And I want to get this thing as straight as possible, because the tail end of it is going to be a little bit longer after we make this swap, and I don't want it clipping into anything. All right. Neutral brake. Here we go. So we go to service first. Take care of that. And then we go to, so we're all good here. Don't know why I went there. We go here. Here we go. And we want triple, right? And we want many, many axles. All right. So we go here now. And this is Goodyear 275.75, the Marathon 275.75. So then we do this, and the rim is advanced paint. So we say advanced paint, paint that. We put our center in, do that, and that, and that. All right. So that is the wood deck. This is all good. This is all good. Yep. Yeah, that doesn't seem any longer than the other one. So we want this now is going to be advanced paint. Stemco center. Indicators. Green. Wooden deck on that. And then back here, advanced paint, advanced paint, advanced paint, right? So that's all good. Stemco center, put those in, those in. Those in, right? And for tires, we want Goodyear, right? Like that. And then back here, want our warning flags. Yep, we want, don't worry about those. We want that, we want that, and we want that. All right. That's all good. All right. That's all good. All good there. Right. You know, that's not bad. 60 grand for all that. That's not bad. All right. And this is a absolute monster of a trailer that we got now. How's it look? Ridiculous is how it looks. Okay, so turn our lights back on, and we'll go get some sleep, and then we'll see what we got. We can go to our map. Go to our map and clear this out. Let's get some sleep, and then we'll find out what we can haul in the morning. Right. Windows down, lights on. There we go. How about we dump this trailer right about right here somewhere, right in front of this dumpster. All right. Interesting. It's going to let us sleep right here. Normally it doesn't with a trailer this long. Wonder if that's new for 1.39. Either way, I'll take it. Parking lights on. All right, get some sleep. All right. Awfully dark. Let's see what we can haul with this thing. And we're going out of Salina. Yeah. 106,000 pounds, 90,000 pounds. Okay, so when you go with the longer, heavier trailer, it does have bigger cargoes. And these are based on, I have these sorted by price, so it's going to have, I guess, the ones that pay the most up front. Astoria, Oregon, that's a long trip, 900 miles. Where's this one going? 800 miles. I mean, that's about the same. How long we've been going? 1 hour? Let's keep it going. Let's haul this ridiculous thing on this ridiculous trip. Hey, why not, man? Now, we will need to sleep, I'm guessing, and we'll probably need to get fuel. All right, this is going to be a long trip. I ain't scared. Here we go.
Ready to go.
We'll fire up. Lights on. Get rid of this. Don't need that. And here we go. And how do we get out of here? I think if we just kind of stick to the outside of the parking lot. I think we'll be able to get, yep, maybe. Oh yeah, it's the road right here, okay. And we've got, I think we've got, well, let's take a look. I think it carries over graphic settings of all the things that it carries over. Yeah, ultra, it's on high. I think everything is maxed out. Mirror quality, yep. Yeah, that's all maxed out. The reason I'm wondering is this trailer is so long. Looking in the mirror, the tail of the trailer is like almost at the edge of pop in, at the tip of our own trailer is almost hard to see from pop in. All right, go. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the rub with these trailers is I feel like the AI is just not, they just don't get it. And careful as you may try to be, I feel like the AI just does things that would not happen in real life. So it's like there's no way you can accommodate for it. So right back there, we were as far to the right as we could be, but it still pulled the trailer in toward the double yellow line, and the trucker was making the right down the hill toward the truck stop. Didn't move over to the right at all, and so we clipped him. So it's going to happen. It's not super realistic, but like when we were leaving at the beginning of the episode with our first job, we would have sat in traffic all day if we waited for a gap big enough that we could have got through it with no possibility of contact. And I don't know that the developers intend the game to be played that way. I mean, I know it's meant to be realistic, and we try to play it realistically. And from time to time, I'm sure real truck drivers do have to sit for 5 or 10 minutes and just wait for a big enough hole in traffic that they can do what they need to do. But I don't know that I would do that in a video game. Realistic as it may be, you know, you gotta draw the line somewhere. All right. So we'll be, it's 4:30. By the time we get loaded up, the sun will be coming up, so we won't need to do the whole trip in the dark. I mean, it's 900 miles, so we'll probably go through 1 or maybe 2 day-night cycles anyway. All right, so this one, we just came down here to drop off our last cargo. But same thing, we need to really get out into traffic here and trust the AI. And I don't trust the AI. Oh God. Yeah, it's not that I don't trust the AI. I shouldn't say that. I feel like it's just not. It's not smart enough to figure some of this stuff out. All right. And I don't know that this is strictly big enough that we'd have pilot cars. But I know, like on the special transport, the pilot cars are, I mean, it all has to be scripted. I don't know if the code could ever support the idea that you could just pick pilot cars for any trip, right? Like that I could just go to the options menu right now and say, I want pilot cars now, and that they would be able to figure out, you know, merge points and speed limit and everything else. I think that's a kind of a non-starter. But what that means, I guess, is we've got a trailer that in real life would probably require pilot cars and maybe a spotter, and we don't have access to either one of those things. So as much as it bothers me, I think the occasional scraped fender is just going to be how it has to be. Find a good gear here. There we go. Yeah, no, there's just no way around it. All right, and this is where we just dropped off. Okay. And this thing we're picking up it is over 100,000 pounds, so gross weight should be like, I don't know, 130,000. It's gonna be a biggins. All right. Get this gate open. Turn signal off. Carefully. And again, the nice thing is they will flip us around to get out of here. Because if they didn't, I don't know that we could get turned around in this yard. All right. So get right up here. Neutral. Brake. Where's the dispatcher? Log loader. 106,000 pounds. That is a big log loader. All right, and we're just going to pull forward. This is where we dropped off, so I guess that all kind of makes sense. Let's see if we can get over far enough to hit the trigger. If not, we'll use the skip loading button. No, that should straighten out. We've got enough of it in there. Maybe? Yeah, we do. Okay. Neutral. Brake. Lights. Engine off. Let's load up. And it is just about 5 o'clock. Let's take a look what we got here. All right. I mean, that doesn't, well, I guess it does. I was thinking that doesn't look like over 100,000 pounds, but yeah, I guess it is. And that's okay. So the bigger cargos do use those decks front and rear. Now we selected the wooden decks. If you don't select them, it's just kind of a standard. It looks almost like this apparatus up here. I don't know that you have to have the wooden decks selected to qualify for these jobs. Does that make sense? Like if we did not have these wooden decks selected, would it not have listed this thing? I don't know. But
Okay.
regardless,
Here we go.
we went with them. All right. Lights. Beacons. Yep. All right. Looks good. Here we go. And we just slept. We got a full tank of gas. But I think we're going to need to sleep and get gas between here and there. Alright, and I'm going to try to very carefully hit my coffee before we get going here. Alright. Windows up. There we go. I think we're going to be on highway for a lot of this. So once we get through these lefts and rights here and get out of town, hopefully it'll, you know what I'm saying? The difficulty curve will flatten out a little bit. Alright, no traffic there, no traffic there. It is 5 a.m. Good. Alright. So I think the one we have on right now is the biggest lowboy you can get. So if we can make it through this, I'll be surprised. If we don't hit anything between here and Oregon, I will definitely be surprised. And it's really heavy too. I can feel it pulling. It's really heavy. Oh, I wanted to check that as well. Stand by. Trailer stability gameplay. There we go. Oh, yeah, this stuff. I don't get this. I would really like to just be able to tick a box that says all my settings from the last save game that I was in. Just keep them. Just keep them. All right. So that's all good. All right.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I thought it felt a little too stable. Some of those turns we hit going way too fast and just kind of carved right through them. Didn't feel right.
Keep left. And turn left. Turn left.
And we are going to be very, very careful in areas like this. I know it's going to be kind of slow, but really, I do not get it. I do not get the traffic. That it seems to stop so much earlier than you would expect it to. And because it's stopping so early, it's like, are you letting me out? Are you letting me out? And just when you realize, yes, they are letting you out, then they pull forward and don't let you out. Yeah, man, yeah, this seems different. This seems different in the last one or two patches. And it's not, I'm not like upset about it. I don't mean it, I don't mean it like that. I hope it doesn't come across like that. I just don't, I don't know what it is that I can do to adjust for it, or is there a setting? You know, I find the traffic very confusing now. All right. So, full tank of gas. We just slept the night through. I do need to reset my info panel. All right. I'm very, very carefully going to reach up and do that. There we go. And I guess we're rolling. Let's see how far we can get before the sun sets. And I think that might be about the limit of our fatigue cycle as well. Yeah, we are going to be constantly gearing down with something this heavy. A nice tailback there. Carefully. All right, here we go. And let me look also at the actual time. Okay, it's 1:15 as we start this. Let's see how we do. Reduce speed ahead. Well, you know what? And I'm barely making the speed limit as it is. Don't you worry about me.
Go straight on.
All right, and then onto the freeway. Carefully. Got it? Yep, we got it. All right. And I didn't see any speed restrictions on this trailer. So I guess whatever the highway speed limit is, that's how fast we can go. I do want to be careful. It felt more stable than it should have been, if that makes sense. So we did drop the truck and trailer stability and the braking intensity way down, and we'll need to be mindful of that because it is definitely not as stable as it was when we made that first trip. So we can't be, you know what I'm saying? Can't be flippity flopping it around, or we will most definitely roll it. And I don't want to do that on a trip this long. The worst thing for me is to have a bad accident at the end of a long trip, right? Like after you put all that time into doing the trip just right, to wad it up at the very end is the worst. So I will be careful. And yeah, I mean, part of it is this is not the most powerful truck, and part of it is that we've got a really heavy cargo on. But I feel like we're going to be struggling to even be at the speed limit for most of this trip. It's fine though, it's realistic. I can really feel a difference. I prefer the stability turned down. I like when you can feel the truck starting to get really light to one side. I think that keeps me on my toes, you know, keeps me trying to drive realistically. Better than anything else, certainly better than the speed warning. Alright, and we don't have, there's no, I mean, we can always pop up the mini map and take a look, but there's no no way we can see how many miles we have left. Well, that'd be a nice addition by SCS. If there was a way that you could put the miles remaining in your trip, have that come up on the info panel. It doesn't, does it? I don't think it does. Hang on. Let me get the truck pointed straight here. And we do have pop-up notices. Trip 1. Now, I think this is how many miles we have left in the tank. Maybe? Is it? Hang on. 830 miles to go on that menu. And then over here it says 789. I mean, it could be. If it is, I would say that's new. I don't recall ever seeing that before, but we'll monitor. As we get further into the trip, we'll monitor and see if that has anything to do with fuel, or if that is the actual distance to the destination. It'd be great if it was. I hate running the mini-map, but typically information like that would be displayed in your sat-nav. So maybe they split the difference and they just have it up there instead. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Alright, let's get this thing wound back up to 70 miles an hour and be on our way. Yeah, there's those poles on the left there, all kicked over like that. Is that right? Are those supposed to be like that? So this is Salt Lake, right? Oh, let's do this too while we're here. Where's the sun? The sun is over there. Let's take a look at third person, see what this thing looks like. Yep, that is a big truck. I'll take it. All right. Maybe we can turn lights off. Yeah. Plenty bright. So that is foot to the floor, 1600 RPM. So plenty of torque still left to go before we hit the, it's not quite the rev limiter, but you know what I mean. And we're barely accelerating. I think we've got just about the heaviest cargo that we could find. Oh God. Yep. Trailer stability is definitely turned down. I didn't think to check that when I first started, but I prefer it that way. All right. Now I'm wondering if we'll even be able to get to the rev limiter in our top gear, because we're not, as far as I can tell, we're not climbing hill right now. It's just, we just don't have the power to move this thing any faster. And when we do have to sleep, I don't know. I mean, I guess the responsible thing to do is at least get the whole truck into the parking lot, and then maybe drop the trailer and sleep, come back and get it, continue on our way, or sleep and get fuel and then continue on our way. But we did find a spot big enough to accept the truck and the trailer both at once, so maybe we'll be able to do that again. Unknown. Slide over here a little bit. Oh, you know the best way we can check that number in the info panel is we can just fill up. If we fill up and that number goes back up, then it is not tied to the cargo distance or the delivery distance, or however you want to say it. Does that make sense? Then it's definitely tied to the remaining fuel in the tank. All right, now where do we go? Back to the right. can't quite see behind me as far as whether or not there was a vehicle back there. Just had to kind of trust it. I mean, I guess we could have taken a look on the offside. Oh. Try to get centered a little better here. Yeah, with all the stabilities turned down, it's a whole different thing. Yeah, earlier I was saying the trailers felt really good, and the settings were off. Where the settings are now, it's not that they feel bad, but they definitely feel, I'm a lot more on my toes now than I was a little while ago. Slide over here. Carefully. Oh man, I'm seeing all these question marks go by and I want to go discover all of them. There's no reason to. This is a test profile. We'll delete it as soon as we're done. Yeah. What is happening? Oh, AI. All right. I mean, it is what it is. Turn that off.
Never mind. I'll find it.
Some windows down. Bump the steering wheel, as we always do. Right, 154,000 pounds. All right, that's something. That explains a lot. All right. Yeah, because I forget the cargo weight is 106,000, but the trailer, that's a massive trailer. That's got to weigh a good few tons plus the truck. So yeah, 150,000 pounds. Okay. Slide over here a little bit. And I'm trying to get some momentum straight away. So we are going to need to merge. Yep. There we go. All right. I noticed we've been getting weighed just about every weigh station we get to. They've been asking us to pull in. And I'm curious if that has been coded into these big trailers as well. That, like, if you're deadheading or something, you don't need to pull in to get weighed, or at least not as often, right? RNG. But with a great big trailer on, they're always going to want you to pull in and get weighed, as they would in real life. All right. Speed limit here is 80 again. Okay. I don't think we can get this thing going 80. I really don't. Maybe with a tailwind. Yeah, this is really... You can feel the weight a lot more than you could before. This is really, I don't want to say challenging. What's the word I'm looking for? It's going to take a minute to get all the way up to Oregon with things configured the way they are right now. All right, that's what we're looking for though, right? And let me just take a look. Don't need fuel. We've gone through a quarter tank already. Left, we'll do that. Yeah, it's got to be something else because now it's up to 900 miles. Before it was down to like, oh, something else. There's distance to empty. Trip 1. Oh, okay. It's hang on. Let me get to the menu I want. There we go. Let me get back in my lane. It's going up because it's the it's a trip odometer. I thought it was indicating like the distance left in the trip. It's completely the opposite. So no, that's never gonna show the remaining distance in the trip. I guess there's just no way to do it either on the sat nav, the built-in sat nav, or on the info panel. It's a bit disappointing. I would like to see that information somewhere, but I guess I understand why they took it out. Alright, so once again, we will try to get this thing wound up. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit unsteady. I think we're going to be dealing with that around every bend from here to the yard where we drop off. There's just no way around it. How are we doing on time? About 30 minutes in. Okay. I was thinking an hour for this entire trip. It's going to be a little bit longer than that. It's because we're going so slow. Because we're going slow and because we are slowing down for all those big turns and also for the inspections and weigh stations. All right. We will make 75 grand though, so that's a decent pile of money. All right. Idaho. We got 2 left. We're going into Nevada at all? We may just be going directly into Oregon, but I feel like we're cutting across Nevada as well. I can take a look at the map. Maybe we'll do that next time we have to stop. Take a look and see. Alright. Well, if the road stays pointed straight and we don't get to a great big hill, we might actually hit 70 here. Ooh. Alright. I think the thing that confuses me about the AI is sometimes it's very aggressive and sometimes it's very cautious. And I mean, they could have coded that in to try to somehow represent like real drivers, that some drivers are very cautious and some drivers are very aggressive. Okay. But if that is the case, I feel like the implementation is a little bit clunky, for lack of a better word, that it just doesn't feel natural. It's really kind of unpredictable, but not in a way that feels authentic. If that makes sense. And I will, yeah, after this episode, I don't know how many more times we'll use this profile. I don't think 1.39 is going to be in beta for very long before it goes into full retail. Just because it doesn't seem like there's really a whole lot to it. So I think it's going to come out of beta fairly quickly, maybe a week or two. And when it does, we'll just go back to our other profile once all the mods get patched up. So we may use this profile 1 or 2 more times and we'll just delete it. So I'm not worried about bringing in like trailer mods and real company mods and some of that other stuff. We'll save that for our other profile. Alright, trucks over 26,000 pounds must stop. Well, that is definitely us. Alright, but then it tells us not to stop. Okay. And we're burning a ton of fuel as well. I don't know if you saw that. I mean, the tanks on this truck are not gigantic, but we've used half our fuel already. And we're not even, I would say not even halfway through this trip. Although I did see on our information panel, it said we had about 650 miles left in the tank, and it's about a 900-mile trip, so we will most likely need to both sleep and get fuel. And hopefully we can do those at the same time. We'll try to do those at the same time, and in fact, you know what, because I always forget to do this. Always forget. Hang on, let's do this now. So we're half fuel and half sleep, 626 miles to go. And if we go here, we've got 500 miles left in the tank. Whoa. We've got 500 miles left in the tank. So we will definitely need to stop for fuel. And I'm assuming we'll need to stop to sleep. We'll combine those two. But I'm going to dip into that pop-up periodically. just so we sleep before we need to. I don't want to turn red and have to, you know what I mean, get all gripped about it. Let's sleep before we have to. And we're going to have to sleep once either way, so let's just sleep when we have to, or before we have to, and get that out of the way, and we'll get fueled at the same time. All right. I think I may have dialed the stability down a little too far. The truck feels like it's, I don't know, it's kind of pogoing a little bit. Does not feel 100% natural. But I didn't see anything in the patch notes as far as physics, and we're not running any physics mods, so I don't know what, if anything, is different, or if I'm just noticing it differently, or who knows. But I'll look for a sweet spot on that. I mean, I think I've got a sweet spot on my other profile as far as the settings. So it could be we just need to, whatever they are, we just need to kind of copy them over. All right. Yeah, I feel like we just can't quite get enough torque to get this thing wound up. In fairness, it is, you know, quite a bit of weight back there. All right, I don't think we need to stop yet. And while this is pointed straight, let's pop this back open. Not quite. Let's go another 85 miles. That'll take us to about the halfway point. Let's go another 85 miles and then start looking for both fuel and a place to sleep. And it also looks like it's about to start raining. Perfect. Yeah, I feel like we're just not quite capable of hitting 70, like under any circumstances. There's a rest area here. No, we're gonna skip this one and go ahead to the next one. And I would almost prefer to go a little bit further into afternoon. If we slept now, we'd wake up about, what, 10 o'clock at night, and then we'd finish the entire trip in the dark. Whereas if we can stretch this out until late afternoon, early evening, then we'd sleep through till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and at some point the sun would come up again. So yeah, let's try to do that. And you know, as quickly as we're burning fuel, there goes my voice, as quickly as we're burning fuel, I think that may be what we stop for before we stop to sleep. And we'll do them both at the same time, but it will be needing fuel more than needing sleep that we have to stop. All right, and now we're getting into the mountains a little bit. Sort of. Maybe not. I thought we were. All right. Whoa. It's crazy how much the truck follows where you're looking, right? It's true, and that's true in life. It's true in everything. It's true in racing, motorcycles, mountain biking. You go where you're looking, whether you plan to or not. And I would not have thought that would be the case, like in a video game, but the truck does seem to track in the direction you're looking. A lot more than I expected it would. All right, let's see how we're doing here quickly. 528, it's not quite halfway. Let's push it a little bit. Let's push on to the next one. So not this one. We're at 528 miles of a left to go in a 900-mile trip, so a little bit more than half. We want to be about 450, and I think we've got another 50 miles of fuel in this tank. But we need to, I'd like to get at least to the halfway point so we don't have to sleep twice and get fuel twice. But the very next one that we get to, we've got to stop. Alright, it's already feeling a little, you know what I'm saying? A little dicey, a little risky. We're going to chance it. Alright, so there's another rest area here. When I said the very next one, I didn't mean the very next one, I meant the one after that. And if the next one we get to is more of a town, rather than pull this big old truck into the town, we'll drop the trailer somewhere and just go run our errands. Alright, so we're going to skip this rest area. I don't think there's any fuel here anyway. Didn't see a sign for it. Yeah, that's just a rest area. And we're still over a quarter of the tank. So I think we're okay. And I don't want to leave this up. I don't want to leave our mini-map up. So we definitely need to sleep, and we're at about 500 miles. Boise. I don't know, man. I don't want to pull into Boise with this rig. Let's just push on. So from back here, I'm seeing the sign for fuel rest. The big old truck stop up here. Broadway. Yeah, that doesn't sound... I mean, it is a big truck stop. That just doesn't seem like, you know, up and over the bridge and everything. No, we'll go to the next one. We still got a quarter tank. Yeah, it would have been up and over. Now, it did look like it was kind of a ramp system up there. We wouldn't necessarily have been going through, like, traffic lights or anything, but I don't know. Didn't feel right. So far, we haven't hit anything, and we haven't got any tickets. Try to keep that going. Here. Keep left, okay. And I didn't really see a sign for services at this exit, so I don't think we missed anything by not getting off there. Let's see how we're doing. Alright, we're not red yet. We're definitely at the halfway point for the trip. And we've got 300 miles left in the tank, looks like. So now we kind of flip back to, don't do anything crazy. We sort of flip back to our original, whatever, conundrum. We're okay on fuel now, but we do need to find a place to sleep. Yeah, as much fuel as we were burning earlier, I thought we'd be on fumes by now, but we're doing okay. And I want to say there's some services in Winnemucca. You know what we could do? We could look at the map. Let's do that. Before we get to this exit, This is going to be a little greasy, but just bear with me. If we go to the map, yeah, I don't want to go to this one. It's too small. So if we go here, this is a great big truck stop. We are going to have to get off and then get back on with this gnarly trailer, but I don't know. I don't see that we have a whole lot of choice, and we got to sleep and we got to get fuel. Our options are somewhat limited. All right, we'll just be as careful as we can. That's crazy. It's like once you start your turn, once you start, wait, what? Hang on. Did we? No, we're okay. Wait, what? Did we get off at the wrong exit? Oh, okay, we should have gone through here. Oh, God. All right. So now we'll have to go down here. Is there anything over here? Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I was trying to make things simple for myself, and I definitely did not. So we'll have to go down here, turn twice. Ugh. All right. So now we got to go here. Oh. Should have thrown a pin in it. Fortunately, there's no traffic right here. So we're okay making this turn. I will just need to kind of repeat the process down at the next exit. Okay. Well, it's not the most graceful dismount, but you know what? These things happen. All right, here we go. Easy enough to get on there. We'll flip around down here and then just head up to the next exit. All right. And I don't think it's down very far. Hope it's not, because we haven't yawned yet, but we are going to need to sleep pretty soon. Unfortunately, we're still good on fuel. Yeah, definitely feeling the weight, even on really kind of shallow grades, or what I would think of as sort of shallow grades. You know, not going through the mountains or anything, just regular interstate grades. You can really feel the weight. All right, so we're gonna get off here. Yes? Yeah, we are. Okay, so we'll get off here. We'll flip around twice. The thing I was trying to avoid doing, I ended up causing myself to have to do it multiple times. That's what you get. All right, so I'm gonna straddle the line here so nobody tries to sneak past us on either the left or the right. Just going to block traffic on both sides. And it's not that I want to, but if we don't do this, we'll get sneaky traffic. All right. So we're going to go out absolutely as far as we can out here. We're even going to mount the curb. And watch how this thing tracks. I feel like it just comes across. As soon as we start to turn, it just pulls in. And the Stinger, I mean, we cleared that car back there, but we didn't clear it by as much as you would think we would for as far out as we swung. So I don't know how much further out I could have gone to the right. It seems like that's when I hook those cars as we're making left turns. All right. Yeah, we need a half gear right about here. Because we were on the rev limiter in 6th, but 7th we don't have enough torque to get any kind of acceleration. There we go. Now, what is this? What's happening here? And I'm going to slide over a little bit early, just so nobody comes up over the hill and jams us up. There we go. Good there. All right. So now, on to the next exit. That's where our fuel and our sleep is going to be. Still okay. No tickets, no crashes, no damage. I'll take it. All right, and this is, I think this is where we got off last time. Yeah, we got off one exit too early, so we'll go past this one, go to the next one. And hopefully that'll sort us out. Yep, this is where we got off last time. Okay, so we'll go to the next one. Try not to hit this fire engine here. Okay, that's a little unnerving. There's a navigation. There's some red navigation, like back behind us for the road that we were just on. Hopefully that's an error of some kind. All right, food and gas. That's us. And we are in Oregon already. We went through, started in Utah, then went through Idaho, and we're into Oregon now. We didn't go through Nevada at all. Just curious if we would or not. Okay. All right, so a nice, nice tight ramp. Beautiful. Far out here as we can. Yeah, I mean we're over the fog stripe, but we're tracking. All right, still doing okay, and we get pulled in here. I think I don't know. Let's see when we get into the parking lot. So there's no traffic there. Go. As long as nobody tries to sneak past on the right. Perfect timing. There's our first yawn. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to pull up right here. Right here. Let's hop out here, and is that, yeah, straight enough. I mean, it's not the most thoughtful thing to do. We're going to drop this right here. And we're going to go get fuel. And then we're going to get some sleep. Then we're going to hook back up and get on out of here. And I think we've got a little over 400 miles to go, so we'll be okay on fuel. As long as we're okay on sleep, we'll be able to get the rest of the way into, where are we going? Eugene? Somewhere? Yeah, I want to say Eugene. Alright. Go right here. Neutral. Brake. Engine. Let's get this full. Interesting. And then another one behind him. Okay. So we can sleep. Where do we want to sleep? It doesn't matter, I guess. And it is going to be dark when we wake up. Let's go, go right over here. I can't get through that way. Okay, we'll just go right here then. And it's 4:30, so it should be like 2:30. Yeah, 2:30 a.m. Okay. So now, lights on. Get rid of this. Let's go find our trailer. Oh, nice. It's like a great big bouncing white arrow on it. Let's see it from all the way over here. You get it? Obviously not. Which side did we miss it on? this way a little bit. Got it, eventually. Alright. Beacon's back on. Windows up. And how do we get out of here? This way, I suppose. Trying to think where we can turn around. I guess we can just flip it right here. Yep, that worked. Alright, and then let's go back to the map. We'll cancel out this extra waypoint from where we just stopped. And I think that's us done all the way into our drop-off. We're gonna stop right here. Right? Neutral, break, map. What's all that about? Yeah, it's telling us to like go back here. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay. So we're gonna take a left and then through here. That looks like pretty mountainous. And where are we going? Halfway between Astoria and Longview. Okay. 445 miles to go. That's about right. We said half of 900, so that's perfect. We just slept, so we've got what, another 12 hours till we need to sleep, and we got a full bag of fuel. Okay. I don't know how long we have on this light. I kind of want to hop outside and take a look how this thing looks at night. Yep. That's a big trailer. Alright, and there's our green. So right up here, this one, next one, okay.
Keep left, then turn left. Turn left.
As soon as we get on the highway, I'll get rid of the mini-map. I needed it up there for the miles, but we don't need it for anything else. Alright. And this truck needs more power. It's got, I want to say it's like the second or third most powerful motor we could put in it. I try to avoid the most powerful motor because it just feels like, I don't know, it's not cheating, but it just feels OP. I don't like it. But then you put 106,000 pounds on it, plus the trailer weight. Alright, so get rid of this. That's gone. And the sun will be coming up in another hour or so, which in game is about 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So yeah, we're doing okay. And I think, well, we do have to go through the mountains. That's going to be, And we'll see on the right hand turns, like on all the curves going to the, sorry, not the right, the left. Not the right, but the left. On all the curves going to the left, I'm going to swing out to the right as far as I can, but it's still going to hook across the yellow line. And if the AI doesn't make room for us, we're just going to hit them. You know, it's not... I'll do everything I can as far as moving the truck over to the right, but at a certain point, like there is no more room on the right for us to move over. So we'll just do what we can, see how it goes. And we're also going to be going pretty slowly through there. If it's as steep as places in Idaho where we're not going to be making a really good time. Man, I can remember playing, I think California was as far north as it went, and it wasn't coast to coast, but somebody had built an Oregon, Washington, Idaho mod, and it really wasn't very good. I didn't find it to be very good, but just making that drive from LA to Seattle, and now here we are, oh, what, a year or two later? Yeah, I'd say 2 years. 2 years later, and we've got DLC from the developer that lets us drive from LA to Seattle in areas that look really good too. I think that's the difference. Bad mods are, I don't know, I prefer no mods to bad mods. Alright, and so far we have not been able to get this thing up to 70. Speed limit is 65 here, so we'll see if we can make that happen. But I'm somewhat reluctant to, with the stability turned down as low as it is. We've had no drama so far, and I don't want to get this thing wound up and end up, slamming on the brakes or making some kind of panic stop or seeing a sharp curve in the road and having too much steering input and too much braking at the same time and rolling the thing. That'd be a terrible way to end the episode. Yeah, I mean, we're on just about level ground, foot to the floor, and we cannot get it above 60. And I think, yeah, this is us getting into those mountains. Got some switchbacks coming. Oh, and we've got to descend too with the braking intensity essentially hit 0. That'll be fun. Let's gear down here. I have to say, no complaints about the way the game looks, and certainly no complaints about frame rate. Even with all the other vehicles having lights maxed out, and we've got beacons on and everything else, we're still 90 FPS, 80 to 90 FPS. So no complaints there. Something else I just noticed. Let's hop outside while the road's straight. Up front we got LED pulse beacons, and on the back the trailer has rotary beacons. And you can see the difference in the way the light hits the road and the traffic that we're passing. And I love details like that. Things like that in simulation gaming, I think that's the reason I love simulation gaming as much as I do. I don't know what it is about it. And it's nothing that you couldn't see like in the world around you. It's just for some reason seeing it in a video game, I don't know, it just does it for me. It gets me. Alright, and we are, well, I think we're descending a little bit, but we might just hit the speed limit here, sir. Alright. I really got my eye on the AI. It's, I don't know, it's different. The thing that I keep saying that I'm going to do that I never do is back the spawn down to 1.0 from 1.7 and see if that makes any difference. I always say I'm going to do that to kind of test it, but then I never do. And before I forget, let me take a look at something. That would be under, is it under audio? or gameplay. So we do have rumble strips selected. Okay. We were back and forth over the rumble strip there, and I couldn't really tell if we had hit it. Alright, so we did make it to the speed limit. I was going to set the cruise control, but let's not. Let's be safe and not do that. And yeah, 4 a.m. and the sun's just about starting to come up. I feel like it's always summer in this game, whether you're in ATS, ETS, whether you're in Scandinavia or Italy, right? San Diego or Seattle. It's like it's always summer. The days are always long. There was a, whoa, carefully. There was a, for ETS, I want to say it was called the Polish Winter Mod, and it just made the nights really, really long, and it made the weather like permanently foggy. And I liked it. I ran it for a while. But I'd like to see them bring seasons into the game. I just don't know how it would be implemented. I mean, obviously, you could turn it off. If you didn't want it, you could turn it off. And there would need to be an override so you could pick the season that you want. But other than that, I don't know how it would, like, keep a clock. You know, how it would decide what season it is or how long a season lasts. And I don't know what would happen in multiplayer. Right? Whether it's like the session owner picks the season or who knows. But I would love to see seasons. And I know it can be done because I know modders have done it. Yep. Definitely getting into the mountains. We're going to be gearing down from here to the summit. Oh God. All right. Let's just calm down. Get slowed down a little bit here. I thought that was slow enough, but clearly it wasn't. Now, again, we could pull out and straddle the white line and just stay on the center line all the way to the summit and then all the way down the other side. We could do that. I don't know. Doesn't feel right. I don't think we need to do that. All right, so that says 60 through the twisties. We're going 40. 60 seems a bit reckless, I have to say. But the nice thing is we got a big fat shoulder here, so we can move out over the fog stripe and give these good folks a little bit more room. And as long as that big shoulder doesn't disappear, I think we'll be okay. Like when you're going through a rock cut, I've seen there are places on the map with no shoulder at all, where it's just it's like there's a Jersey barrier on the fog stripe, really no extra room at all. So as long as we don't get to an area like that, I think we'll be okay to stay out here to the right. All right. And, I mean, is that the summit already? Sometimes there's a marker or a little, some kind of little plaque or indication or something. I didn't see anything here. Yeah, I'd say that's the summit. I mean, we may drive along the spine here for a minute, but I think we're done climbing. Maybe. Oh. And while we're here and the road's pointed straight and the truck's pointed straight, let's take a look at this. 300 miles. And we've got 3/4 of a tank of fuel. And we've been awake for about 2 hours. So we got another 10 hours to go till we need to sleep, and we got plenty of fuel. Okay. 6 miles, 6% downgrade. We have been warned. Right lane, next 1.5 miles. We're definitely in the right lane. do they want us to pull in here and get weighed? They do not. Okay. So it says we're descending, but it feels like we're still climbing. Last warning, 6 miles, 6% downgrade ahead. Does that mean we get to it in 6 miles, or it's 6 miles long? Yeah, there we go. So this would be the summit proper, and those signs indicate that we're getting to the 6% grade. We're not on it yet. Okay, so that was the summit. Here's the descent. Clear back there. And we are going to stay out here to the right as much as possible. That's posted at 50. I was curious if anybody was going to dip out of that rest area and try to merge either in front of me or into the side of me. Oh, this is nice with the sun in the eyes. I wonder if they're ever going to have visors in this game. Visor you can flip down. I think that may be, well, it's not a mod, but I think that's a thing in some mod trucks. I think I've seen that. All right. Still doing okay. Alright, I think that's the end of the mountains, so made it through there, and that gives us about 250 miles to go. Let's take a look. 260. So we're good on fuel, we're good on sleep, made it through the mountains. Let's get the lights turned off. Yep. Pendleton and Burns. Yeah, I don't want to say we're not far, but I feel like we're definitely moving down toward the coast now. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to stay too far to the right, but what? I don't want to stay too far to the right, but I do worry about, on any of those left-hand curves, I do worry about hooking the trailer. Who did we hit? What did we hit? I don't even know. I don't even know what we hit. All right. You know what? It could be we didn't hit a vehicle. It could be we clipped something with the trailer. Hard to say. It is frustrating. Alright, but we haven't taken any damage yet. We haven't got any tickets yet. Oh, no. I take that back. We did just get a ticket. Alright. Spoke too soon. So this is Pendleton. and then from here I want to say it's about another 170, 180 miles. So hopefully we can make it this last little way drama free. Yeah, I think I may have clipped something on the right. I thought I hit a car, but there was nothing near us on the left, and we weren't over the center line, so we may have clipped something on the right. And it happened exactly as I was thinking. I don't want to get too far to the right. I just want to give the traffic on the left as much room as possible. And we're going, I don't know if we're going through Portland. I mean, obviously we're going through all these big cities on I-5 and continuing on out toward the coast, but I don't know if we're going to go directly through one of these cities or sort of between them. We've been up for, let me see, been up for about 5 hours, 6 hours, so we don't need to sleep. We're okay there. And we're not quite at half a tank of fuel left, so we're good there as well. And it looked like it wanted to rain, I don't know, the last 2/3 of the trip, but it never quite started raining. It's just been really cloudy and kind of overcast. Yeah, I need to swap to a different profile in track IR and get rid of that dead zone in the middle. I think there's one that comes with it called Smooth that has no dead zone at all in the center. This is posted at 65, but I'm not going to go 65 through here. Yeah, even at 50, we're getting quite a bit of roll. And our yard is what? It's between Astoria and what was the other town? Can't remember off the top of my head. But it's not, we don't have to go all the way to Astoria, but if we see exits for Astoria, we know we're getting close. Alright, and we don't need sleep, we don't need fuel, so we don't need anything here. Yep, still good. I can't tell exactly. I'll have to take a look at some older videos, but it seems like they may be doing some different things with depth of field and pop in, where it's less of a pop in and more of almost like a fade in. Does that make sense? Oh god. Alright. I feel like we want to be, whatever the curves are posted at, I feel like we want to be about 10 miles per hour slower than that. And this looks like some kind of great big hydroelectric project here. I really should know like what this is over here. Take a look on Wikipedia. Oregon Hydroelectric Project. Alright. Good through there.
Keep left.
This is the one that always trips me out, when you have to be in a center lane, because it's like you're trying to accommodate traffic on both sides, right? Not hit anybody on the left or the right. And I can never quite find the sweet spot. We got through there, okay. All right, and we are 143 miles. All right. I feel like the scenery in the more recent DLC is a little bit more spread out, if that makes sense. It just feels more natural and authentic. I'm going to slow way down here. This one really wasn't posted at all. It feels, I don't know, the areas, I think the newer DLC, they just look a lot better and a lot more realistic. And they're a lot more immersive than the earlier DLC. And the earlier parts of the map as well. Like the older parts of the map. Can't wait to see Colorado. That's got to be just a couple weeks away. I haven't seen a date for it yet, but if that's released with 1.39, 1.39 is, it's really not a very, it doesn't seem like a very significant patch. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot that's different. Some stuff in the UI, a new trailer, some viewpoints, but nothing really major. So I would hope that this beta is over fairly quickly and we get Colorado and the 1.39, or I guess reverse that, we get the 1.39 full release and it brings with it Colorado sooner rather than later. Alright, so carefully go through here. Do they want us to pull in and get weighed? They do. So we've got just a dummy transponder up there, right? Up on the windshield there, we've got Fast Pass and various other things. It's just a mod. It's in the Sissel Mega Pack. It's just a mod. They don't do anything. I would love to see base game have Fast Pass transponders that actually do something, where when you buy the Fast Pass, you can then use the Fast Pass lanes. I think that would be more of an ETS thing than an ATS thing, especially in France with all the tolls. I think that would be a nice detail. Oh, this is a little snug. Are we fitting? Yep. Ugh. It's got to be so stressful to be a truck driver. It really does. All right, let's get down to first gear here. 153,000 pounds. I'll take it. Here we go. Get out of here without hitting anything. Alright. Made it. So I thought the mountains would be bad. They really weren't. And now the next question is, do we have to go through any kind of built-up area as we get closer to the destination? A lot of lefts and rights and city sort of stuff. Don't know if we do or not. I hope not. All right. I've been seeing these trailers everywhere, and I don't know if it's, like for the moment, I don't know if the game is spawning more of them, either just so we can see them, right? Just so players can see more of them, or if it's to like test the AI, stress test the AI or something, I don't know. But I feel like I've been seeing them everywhere. I mean, it could be that I'm really not seeing them everywhere. It's just like that confirmation bias, you know, when you get a car, suddenly you see that car everywhere. That sort of thing. I don't know, but I feel like I've been seeing quite a few of the Lowboy trailers. Portland. All right, well, we're not far from the coast now, so we've got to be within 70 or 80 miles. And that is pretty close. All right. Well, we did have a couple little bumps and scrapes, but nothing catastrophic. And as I say that, oh God. You know what? Hang on. Before we do anything else, let's get over in this lane so we don't get jammed up. And, yep, let's get right up here. And let's take a look at the map. Because I know sometimes, where are we going? We're going to, so we could go this way. Let's just do this, right? We got one ramp here. We've got one ramp here. Turn here. And here and here. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try that. I know sometimes when the sat-nav reroutes you, it's like it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't do the best job rerouting you. I've had it flip me back around and try to send me the same way again, right? And you just come to the same detour again. So I'm trying to get in the habit of anytime we get rerouted, that whatever, that I take a look and make sure that it's sending us someplace good and not just like flipping us back around exactly where we were. Sir, not helping me out. One more. One more. All right, that was a little questionable, but we did it. Yeah, I like these. I think this big trailer, like the one we have on right now, I think it is right between, I wouldn't say like a regular trailer, but it's definitely bigger and heavier and obviously longer than like the stock flatbed or anything. But it doesn't quite get into special transport territory, so you can do longer trips with it. And it would be nice to have pilot cars. I just don't think the code would support that. I don't think there's any way the code could have pilot cars running on a 900-mile trip. And if it did, I mean, they wouldn't know Like if you wanted to get fuel or something, how would they know that? How would your lead pilot car know we're getting off here? Because they would essentially have to exit before you did. So I don't think there's any viable way to like make that happen. But normally for a rig this big, you would have pilot cars. I would think. I mean, maybe not 100%, but you would think. All right, so we're going to slide over here.
then turn right. Turn left.
All right. No traffic there, so we're going to slip out over the center line here. And I would also guess that SCS has designed this in a way that like the physical geometry of the trailer is compatible with all of the roads.
Keep left.
Does that make sense? But because this is a base game trailer now, it is guaranteed, for lack of a better word, to be able to fit around all the ramps. And you know, like the AI is a different thing. The AI does bonehead stuff sometimes and goes places that no car would ever go if they saw a heavy truck, a long truck, trying to pull some kind of maneuver. Any reasonable driver would know, hey, I'm just going to hang back here a little bit and let them make their turn or whatever. So the AI, that's a separate thing. But as far as physically being able to fit the trailers through any intersection, through any intersection or any ramp, I would guess that SCS tested that. I don't know if there's some, like in the, whatever it is, whatever tool or technology they use for their map building, I don't know if there's some kind of function built into that, where if you try to make a road with a turn too sharp or a ramp too tight or something, that it does not allow it, based on the length of trucks and trailers, etc., or if they just need to do it the way that farm sim map makers, I've seen them use a trick where you import a tractor into Giant's editor and just move it around and use it to test the width of roads and make sure that everything will fit. So one of them is not necessarily automated, but you know what I mean. If you try to do something that won't work, the software tells you that won't work. And the other way to do it is sort of by eye, trial and error. Don't know, but I would assume that you can physically fit one of these trailers on every road on the map. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This seems more behavioral than related to spawn, but I could be wrong. It might be that me cranking up the spawn is what's causing all this weirdness. Alright, and then we're going to exit here again.
Keep right, then exit right.
Right.
Exit left.
Alright, I'm going to stay out as far to the right as I can. And try not to hook this thing. Yeah. And I mean, we couldn't be any further out to the right. If we had gone any further out to the right, we would have been taking out signs. And it did still come across the yellow line just a little bit. Just a bit. So had there been traffic there, we would have hit it. I gotta go through a town here. This will be fun. I'm gonna move back to the left because we gotta make a left turn here. did get this light. You know what? That's what's known in the industry as a stale green. So instead of forcing it, and with the AI acting up anyway, let's just pause here, let this cycle, and we'll go through a light that we know we have enough time to get through. And while we're doing that, we can hop out here third person, take a look at this thing. Yeah, I think you'd have a pilot car for that. That's pretty big. 12 axles, I think you would. And of course, while we're goofing around, God, yeah. I mean, that's not spawn. That car was proper spawned well earlier. And it still did that kind of hesitation, right? Start, stop. I don't know. All right, and our delivery is, it's halfway between Longview and Astoria, and we're leaving Longview, so I think it's going to be right up here on the, it'll be on the left. Will it? Yeah, I think so. Hang on. Get the coffee. And I can't believe how much fuel we've used. We're down to a quarter tank again, so this will be almost 2 full fuel tanks to go 900 miles. And they're not the biggest tanks, but still, you know, that is not great economy. All right, so through there. And this is a 35. All right. Gotta swerve all over if we want to clear this trailer.
Go straight on.
There. Like so. All right. And I think that was like our last obstacle. I think that was the last possible problem area we could have had. Welcome to Oregon. Were we not in Oregon? Interesting. All right. So we're going to go right through here. All right. Still good. Saw an animation out the front there of like trees actually coming down. Yeah, check that out. Those trees are like coming. Is that new? I mean, it's on a loop. I don't think it's doing anything. yeah, it's just, it's like taking those trees from the one that's already standing. Let's see if it does it again. Yeah, but I don't recall seeing that before. I like it. I do like little details like that. And looking at this dust right here, one of the reasons that the trucks don't have smoke, I've heard, is because Prism 3D really doesn't support that kind of like soft particle rendering. So if they did try to make the trucks make smoke, it would look awful, and that's why they don't do it. And when I see that dust, it's like, yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, I don't know if that's the reason, but it would make sense if it was. All right, so I guess we're just going to go down and around and in with a trailer this long. The drop-off is going to be just a straight pull-through, so as long as we get it lined up and don't have to back up, I think we'll be okay. It's just a question of where they put it. And it is on the left, on the right. It looks like it's on the left. I'm gonna guess. If I'm wrong, there's no way to back up. Yep, there it is. All right, so let's swing out here a little bit and then bring it back. We'll get this thing stopped, take one more look at it before we unhook. Well, we're not going to unhook, we're just going to unload the forwarder. Okay. Is it a forwarder or is it a log loader? There we go. All right. Set the brake, windows down. Lights are off. Lights are off. Let's hop out here and take a look. Yep, I'm going to take this thing back to the diesel shop and knock some of those axles off. That's quite a bit of trailer. I mean, it was fun to make the trip, but it was a little bit stressful. I don't know that I would necessarily want to make every trip that way. So we'll probably knock off the Stinger and go back to 2 axles front and back. And that'll cap us at like 65,000 pounds, I think was the difference. When we had 2 axles front, 2 axles back, we were at 60,000. When we went with this rig, it bumped up to over 100,000 pounds. So I'm comfortable hauling 60,000 pound jobs and not having to deal with all that length. It was fun, but it's not something I'd want to do every time. So, all right, let's unload. Let's see what we got. Unload. Let's see what we got. Let's try it this way. There we go. All right, and we did make. We're on time. We did make 75 grand, so I'll take it. And we got quite a bit of XP, so I'll take it. How long have we been going? Almost 3 hours. Let's call it. Let's call it. I'm gonna let this cycle out till we're just seeing the truck. Thanks everybody. Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for watching the stream.